Today, I want to talk to you about going beyond superficial religion. And I'm going to read you a longer passage from the Bible than normal, several verses from Isaiah chapter 58. Now, I don't mind reading a longer passage than normal. I love reading the scriptures. So let's pay attention to this. Isaiah chapter 58, beginning at verse 8, and I'm going to read all the way through verse 12, where we read this. Then your light shall break forth like the morning. Your healing shall spring forth speedily, and your righteousness shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Then you shall call, and the Lord will answer. You shall cry, and he will say, Here I am. If you take away the yoke from your midst, the pointing of the finger and speaking wickedness, if you extend your soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul, then your light shall dawn in the darkness, and your darkness shall be as the noonday. The Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your soul in drought and strengthen your bones. You shall be like a watered garden and like a spring of water whose waters do not fail. Those from among you shall build the old waste places. You shall raise up the foundations of many generations, and you shall be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of streets to dwell in. Now, those several verses have to do with the days of the prophet Isaiah. And in Isaiah's time, the people of God did lots of religious things, but they didn't live lives that truly loved the Lord and cared about other people. So Isaiah makes this promise, Then your light shall break forth like the morning. If God's people would join their fasting to true lives of righteousness and love, then they would see their prayers answered. They would see lives full of light and healing and righteousness and the glory of the Lord. Then they would see that when they called out to God, He would answer. But they had to do something first. God told them, if you take away the yoke from your midst, pointing the finger and speaking wickedness, the Lord said, you have to stop oppressing others. You have to stop treating them as animals bound with a yoke. You have to stop pointing the finger at other people and seeing where they are to blame. No, you need to stop speaking wickedness. Now, that's important, but in and of itself, it wasn't enough. We also read that God told them, if you extend your soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul. You see, the Lord gave them two things to start doing. They had to stop doing certain things, but the two things they had to start was they needed to minister to the hungry with more than food, and they had to extend their soul to the hungry. They had to look for those afflicted souls and do what they could to bring them satisfaction. Then here's the promise. Then your light shall be dawn in the darkness, and your darkness shall be as the noonday. God promised blessing to the repentant ones. He said that the Lord will guide you continually. That's a promise for those who do more than just carry out empty religious rituals. And at the end of those verses, he says, those from among you shall build the old waste places. You see, those who serve God with sincere hearts and actions will also accomplish things for God's kingdom. They build, and they'll be called by these titles, the repairer of the breach, the restorer of streets. You see, in all of this, this passage from Isaiah chapter 58 shows several characteristics of a life that is right with God, a life with God that goes beyond superficial religion. You know, that's a life that can be yours. So look to the Lord, put away the evil that He tells you to put away, look to Him to do right and good in this world, in your own actions and heart, and let the Lord satisfy your soul and strengthen your bones as he promises in this passage. Let him do it today.